Hey guys, Michelle from Delicate Construction here, and today I'm showing you how I made my daughter's 3D box card invitation for My Little Pony. So let's get started. Here's everything except for the number 5. I forgot to put that out here, that I needed to cut to get this ready, and I think it's easiest to cut everything first and then assemble. So all of this base pieces in this sky color came from SVG cuts, their hot air balloon, as well as all these clouds. And then these flaps for the outside, and then the flaps for the inside. I'll link below the SVG cut kit I purchased. And then I made this My Little Pony SVG, and then this little rainbow and the sun are crit cut from the design space from the subscription. And then I used the crit cut to cut and write both the information and then the little "You're invited" for the front. So this is, and then I also have some adhesive roller and some scissors. You can use, honestly, for some I use hot glue because I ran out, and excuse me, some or hot glue just because while I think these are amazing, I don't expect anybody to actually be keeping these forever. So when I was in a pinch, I did use hot glue and it worked great as well. But I do like the rollers a little faster and cleaner. So first we're going to start with all of the background of the cloud pieces, and because this is for a hot air balloon design, there's a lot of extra spots, but I'll show you how to do that. Also, I didn't need those two pieces from the hot air balloon card, so I just put those aside, and I'm going to speed this up. I'm just adding adhesive to where all the clouds are, and then I'm matching up the clouds. There's really only 3 different types of clouds. The first time I did this, it did take a while, but I made 25 of these, so it does get a lot faster, and there's only a couple different sizes of clouds, and yeah, you just have to find where they go. It doesn't take too long. And then once all those are done, I take the 2 big flaps and I cut off the rounded part where the hot air balloon would be because I don't need it. So I just cut around the cloud, and it doesn't have to be perfect because none of mine were, nobody noticed. So yeah, I just cut that right off of both of the larger pieces. And then cut around this one, and then all of those cloud and inside pieces are ready. So I'm going to put those aside and start working on adding the flaps to the box. So push all that aside, and then we're going to bring back the big one. And now what's important to remember here is there's creases on 3 of the flaps, but not 1. One of them is the back, so all these half pieces go on the ones that fold, and then the full piece goes on. See right there how there's no score line? That one folds, and that one doesn't have a score line. So we know that one's the one where the full piece goes because that's the back of the card. So I'm just going to add the adhesive to all of these pieces and attach them. Now this is 2 different cuts, so if you wanted to do the rounded flaps as a different cut than the squares, you can totally do that. I just didn't feel the need to do that. There's so much going on the inside of the card. I thought it would be fine to have the outside just be one like flat tone. And then before I go to the inside to put all the flaps on, I folded it just because it's easier to see, especially on this darker color. And again, the full flap goes on the ones on the back, but we don't want to attach that one yet. We'll attach that after the cards together. So I just put all these half flaps on, and this one I did use a patterned paper. So I did a triangle for these rounded ones. It seemed to work well. So put all those on the inside, and then we get to put the box together. So once all that's attached, I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the flap, and then I'm going to bring the other end over and just attach it. You sort of line it up and put it together. And then once that's done, you've got a box. That. Once it starts coming together, it's really exciting because you can see the finished product. So then I'm going to put that back piece of patterned paper on. So I just cover that with the adhesive, and it's easier just to lay it down and just pop that in. And then it's also extra security for the box being together because that little flaps in there. So there you go. The whole box is put together. Now we need to add, these are the inside flaps that make it like a pop-up card. So the first one, you do the little one. It'll go in the very front. It goes right, and you just line it up in the very front of the card. Just stick it to the front of the box. And then next, we do the one with one cloud. And that's the one that Pinkie Pie goes on. And I was lucky that she fits perfectly on there. So you fold the little flaps. You're going to fold these flaps forward. And then you're going to put the adhesive on. And you're going to stick her right in front of that cloud. I kind of line her feet up at the bottom. And that seemed to be a good height for me. And then on the back of those, I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of those little flaps, because those flaps face the front of the box, and you want to line them up with the front of those sides of the cards. So it's right up against the front and the side of the box. And just pinch it. This is the part that's especially easier with the adhesive over the hot glue gun. The hot glue gun made it a little messy. So these, for the two clouds for the back one, those flaps are going to go backwards. And this rainbow, it had the heart on it, which I don't need, but then it turned out to be a really great place to add the adhesive. So I add the adhesive on the heart and on the edge, and I'm lining it up so it's between the two clouds and sticking that right on. So then I've got a little rainbow coming from the clouds. And then I want to add the adhesive to the front of these flaps on the back piece, because those flaps are going to face the back of the card and be lined up against the back of the card. I'm going to stick that right in there. Give it some pinch. And then there you go. The inside of the card is good. So once that's set, we're going to add some of these extra clouds. I add the littlest one to the front of the card, the front flap, and then I just take any of the other ones for the back of the card. The littlest one just makes sense because there's going to be a number over it, so I put the big one in the back, and things can hang off the back because the way it lays, it works fine. So you can have things kind of popping off the edges. And I put the sun on the other side. And I had all those other pieces just put together before I got to this point. It was just a lot easier. And then I added the information for the party on the left. I personally never put my address on anybody's invitation. I just don't. They can call me for it. And then I put my RSVP information on the side, which is my email. And then I grab this 5. And you can do the adhesive or you can run it through the Xyron because it's kind of a thin shape. But I just put the 5 on the front. And the inside of the card is done. So it folds like this, and then it closes, and now we're going to work on the front of the card. So I take 4 of the clouds, which is the last of them. If you really wanted that piece in the front was like a tiny air balloon and a tiny cloud, you could put the cloud on that and cut it out and use it. I just didn't need the extra cloud, so I saved myself the work from the cutting. So I added the adhesive to the back of your invited circles, and then those go on the top flaps right up there, and then I have to make sure I'm putting it on the right way since I'm doing this upside down. So put you're invited on each of the flaps, and then the clouds I just put on the bottom. Now this isn't exactly how the SVG cuts card looked, but I just kind of switched it up. And it was totally worth the investment. I didn't get it for free or sponsored or anything. I actually paid for it, and I thought it was a good deal because you get like 5 cards with it. So there you go. That's the front, and then you open it and pop it open, and there's Avery's 3D box card My Little Pony invitation. I hope you guys like this, and I will catch you next time. Thanks. Bye.